exactly what's up. This is not necessarily a response. I just want to say this is more like a video comment to the Camera Eye 11. You know, I've been kind of being a voyeur and watching your videos going back and forth between You Heard Me the First Time, Ran on Me B, and I believe the last one was Duck Duck Mouse, And basically, all three kind of are, formed behind this opinion that Asian men and black women do not mix. And yeah, man, it's been pretty intense. Oh, I want to say what's up to You Heard Me the First Time. Really really love your voice. So keep making those videos, and I'll have something to listen to. So anyway, going back on point, uh, what I want to say is that I actually agree with you. It seems like nobody's really giving you props for that, because in any relationship you have to have things that are familiar. That's why most interracial couples, they have to meet somewhere in the middle and work everything else out. If it's totally one-sided, that could be very short-lived or anything like that. But I would have to agree with you on your statement for the most part. People want to bring up the exception and not the rule. If they bring up the exception all the time, then that would be the rule and not the exception. Henceforth, that's why it's called the exception to the rule. Okay, enough of semantics. Let's dive into this deeper. So let's just flip this real quick, all right? So I'm in the computer entertainment industry. My girl, and you're gonna laugh at this, she's an engineer. She's a civil engineer, right? She's also Asian. And before I keep going, I'm gonna say big ups. You're in Seattle, one of my favorite cities of all time. And yes, the snow gets pretty crazy. When I used to live there, it would happen like every 3 years. So anyway, back on point, is that you know, besides having we both have a technical aptitude. Well, wait a minute. Before I get in a relationship, let me clear this up too. That when it comes to, like, it doesn't even matter Asian men and black women as far as that situation. When it comes to interracial couples, a lot of people forget about like a third type. And that third type is what I call the accident, or even denied access. And that I'm a victim of. I just said I'm in the computer entertainment industry, and so I don't have a lot of access to black women. I wanted black women because all throughout college I had dreams of Cree Summer, Essence Atkins, and Megan Good. Those are the type of girls that I was kind of feeling, you know what I'm saying? And that's the type of girl that I was looking for. But as I got my career, not a job, but as I got my career, I am surrounded by what? White people and Asian people. White boys, white girls, Asian guys, Asian girls. And the few black women that were there were either already married, or, they had white boyfriends and things like that. And that actually didn't even bother me. They've got theirs, I got to find my own. You know what I mean? So I wasn't being a hater or anything like that. It's like, fine, I'm looking for girls who feel in me. You know what I mean? So I have my radar on, my sonar, all of that. You know what I mean? So, so my girl's a civil engineer. So we both have a technical aptitude. That's how we relate with problems. That's how we deal with problems. That's how we look at things. So that's our serious side, right? Our entertainment side is that out of her friends, she listens to the most black music out of all of them. So, even going way back, like her favorite hip hop group is A Tribe Called Quest. And how could you not like a girl that loves Tribe Called Quest? That's her favorite hip hop group, and I was impressed by that. Even more so is that she remembers R&B when R&B was around. So she knows like Ready for the World and Shy and things like that. So I was really, really impressed that she listened to all of this, not just the hip hop, stuff that's on the radio, but she knows, she likes jazz, she likes R&B music, slow jams and stuff like that, as well as hip hop. So, very diverse. So I was really impressed with that. And then from my point of view, Because I got into Asian culture, believe it or not, through my father, and that was just by accident, and that's another video there, is that I've just worked around a lot of them and kind of saw how they, dealt with problems, and the way they also, just pretty much the pop culture, anywhere from, the language, the history, and this is just me. I'm not saying, every black guy who's with the Asian girl did this, but, that's just me, the movies, stuff like that. I'm into all of that, right? And as I get older, I'm exposed to more and more because I like it, right? So I don't know that there's a lot of black girls who would also be into that. For example, also the food. Now, my mother is from New Orleans. She's Creole, and I grew up eating a lot of rice. And what do Asians eat a lot of? A lot of rice. So, when she first met me, she was just like, "Oh my God, I never seen a black guy eat so much rice before." But that's what I grew up on. A lot of rice, seafood, fish, catfish, shrimp, crab legs, all of that. I didn't grow up eating chitlins at all. I still haven't eaten those, neck bones and stuff like that. No, my diet was completely different. So I love Asian food. You know what I mean? Whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Thai, Vietnamese, all of that. I eat all of that. So we had that in common. That I was very much close already eating a lot of food that she already eats. So we had all these things in common, and everything else just kind of worked out. Now, I don't know if there's a lot of black women that are even interested in Asian culture, because Asian men are very much secure in their culture. They might adopt more things that are white culture, but there are certainly a certain select few. And what you were trying to say, Camera I11, is that if they are, they're more of like a, hip hop, trying to be hip Asian guy, not engineers. And I have to agree with you. All the Asian engineers that I've ever met are they have like weird social skills. They're not the most engaging. You know what I mean? And it is, now that I think about it, kind of hard to see for the most part, unless he's a, different type of engineer. You know, an Asian engineer with a black woman, unless, he just breaks the mold on that, which is totally possible. So I'm not saying she isn't or anything like that, but I can understand your situation, because the two ethnicities, no matter who they are, it could be a black woman and a Latino guy, or Brazilian guy, or whatever, right? There has to be some kind of meeting point as far as interest, lifestyle, intellect, comedy. We have all those things in common, me and my girl right now. And like I said, it was just, just by accident. That's all I can say. Um, and when it comes to Asian culture, I mostly see the brothers interested in it. It starts off with their entertainment and goes much deeper as you get older. All the brothers that I know, even young ones, are interested in martial arts, video games, and animation. Now, you black women might laugh, but yeah, that's a hobby, and that's how they get you in. But you can start understanding Korean, you can start understanding Japanese, you can understand some of their writings and little nuances of their culture. And as you get older, like I am, because I was interested in all those things, yeah, the video games, the animation, stuff like that, I actually know some of the history, and I've even repeated some of those things back, and I've had Asian parents actually impressed that I knew something like that. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh shit, I just got that from a video game or for a comic book. That shit was real. I'm not saying anything offensive, but I'm just letting you know that for the most part, I see black guys, more interested in Asian culture, which makes Asian girls kind of attracted to them because there's a meeting point. I don't see a lot of black women. There are some here on YouTube which are really, really, into it, but it is a smaller market, and versus like the guys and things like that. And it's just what you're interested in and who you're looking for. Anyway, this is exactly